Hey, everybody. Welcome back. We're so glad that you're here. Thank you, Samantha and Angie, for saying hello. Also, thank you for setting your chat to all panelists and attendees. That's awesome. So I give everybody until 8:03 to get on to the webinar. And hey, Lisa on Facebook. So we're going to take this time to just say hello. Hey, Hannah and Lisa and Jennifer. So glad that y'all are back tonight. And if you have not watched last night's webinar, make sure you do that too. You can do this tonight too. You can do this first if you haven't watched it. It's okay. But I do want you to know that last night's webinar is very, very important. And it's the first thing that goes over the lifestyle, like as a whole, what the lifestyle is. And tonight is on one subject. It's on the subject of food combining. Hey, Faith and Annette and Tonda, when y'all are chatting, do me a favor, look right next to your name and see that it says, if it says panelist or all panelists and attendees. To get it to say all panelists and attendees, you click on chat. And then where it says all panelists, you click there, and then you click on all panelists and attendees. Lisa, this is different than last night. This is a continuation of last night. Thank you, Tonda. Thank you. So yeah, it's a continuation. This is part two of the two-part webinar series. And I'm so glad y'all are all here. Let's see. Okay. Did anybody have a perfect day today? Did anybody start off and have a perfect day? I'm not understanding the question, Lisa. I mean, if you were here last night, Lisa. So you were here last night. And so you did that one. And then you're doing tonight. So I'm just saying for those people that didn't get to watch last night that they need to watch that. But you were here. Yes. Yes. Awesome. Okay. It's 8:03. I am going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to share my screen with you, and we're going to go over a website. And the website that we're going to go over is is a fast track website. This website is already in the new member fast track laps for you. So don't feel like you need to screenshot or do anything with this. It'll already be there for you, waiting on you. You will be able to have access to this again. Hey, Valerie, you will be able to have access to this again. So what is important about tonight is that you're going to start to hear the types of foods that fall into these categories, because it's really important to know these types of foods that go in these categories so that you can build meals. All right. I'm going to go over the fats and oils one more time. This will be a recap from last night. And I am going to go over condiments because we did not go over condiments at all last night, but condiments are pretty important. Okay. So I'm going to start off with a recap of cooking oils and fats. So this is kind of a category. It's just not a numbered category. It's just the cooking oils and fats category. All right. And for one serving, you really wouldn't want to do more than 1 tablespoon. Okay. So if you're cooking yourself one piece of chicken in a pan, 1 tablespoon is fine. If you're cooking 4 chicken breasts in a pan, you might want to do 4 tablespoons. Okay. So it's just 1 tablespoon per serving of food that you're cooking. That's a good way to measure that. Our most highly recommended is 100% MCT oil. You can also use coconut oil, ghee butter, hemp oil, which actually I want them to remove that. Remove hemp oil. They just redid this little worksheet for me, and they've put back in some other things that I didn't want, so I'm going to have them edit that for me. Okay, so you can use hemp oil, but it's really more for wellness purposes. It doesn't have necessarily a ton of MCTs in it. So let's focus on the MCT oil first. And you can use 0-calorie cooking spray or PAM. Okay, so the most highly recommended is the 100% MCT oil. Coconut oil is about 66% MCTs, and ghee butter is about 40 to 45% MCTs. I use 100% MCT oil when I'm cooking a lean protein. And then I use 0-calorie cooking spray or PAM, something like that, when I am cooking a protein plus fat. So that's what makes my decision on which oil to use. I use ghee butter when I would like to have something cooked in butter or a recipe that calls for butter. That's what I use for that. And then I use MCT oil for a replacement in recipes as well. Now, MCT oil, you're hearing us say pretty good things about it. It's got a muscle preserving effect. It's got a metabolism building effect. But what I want you to know about it is we do not ever need to feel like we need to get it in, okay? If you are cooking with it, then great, let's use it. But never feel like you need to take it as a supplement. So we're going to use it for 3 different reasons. One, cooking, however you cook, pot, pan, grill, that kind of thing. Replacing it in a recipe, which is still cooking. I just want to make sure that you can use it for that. And making salad dressings, approved salad dressings from the recipe library. Those are the 3 ways we would use MCT oil. We're not going to use MCT oil as a supplement. We're not going to put it in bulletproof coffee. And we're not going to take it, like put it in shakes and stuff like that. It still has calories in it, about 130 calories per tablespoon. So that's why we're not just going to take it randomly. We're going to use it purposefully. But keep in mind that MCT oil burns up like that. It has almost no propensity to be stored on the body as fat. Whereas long-chain triglycerides, olive oil, canola oil, vegetable oil, and such have a great propensity to be stored on the body as fat. That's why we use MCT oil. So that's one of the secrets right there of Shibboleth. Just switch over your oil and use them in an appropriate way. Okay, condiments. See, condiments are great because these are the things that kind of make food taste like we want them to taste. Because you can take a piece of chicken breast and you can make it taste Italian. You can make it taste Mexican. You can make it taste like barbecue. So condiments can do a lot of things for just the same piece of food, chicken breast. But we got to know how to use condiments because approved condiments, even used appropriately over the entire course of a year, you could use 54,000 calories in condiments, which is 15 pounds in just condiments in an approved way. Think about how many condiment calories have been taken in our lifetime in dressings and sauces and dips, okay? So we've got to know how to use condiments and how to figure out which condiments are going to help me, not hurt me. So for condiments, so many things can be used as a condiment that we don't have absolutely everything in the recipe. I mean in the food library that can be a condiment. So basically we put a general rule around it. We call it the 5, 2, and few rule. 5, 2, and few. This is a sprinkling. You like my sprinkling? This is a sprinkling. So we're going to tell you the rule of how that works. You want to have an item that has 5 grams of sugar or less per serving and 2 grams of fat or less per serving. And the few part is you do not want to use more than 50 calories worth of condiments on a meal, a combined meal. We don't need to put condiments on our meal replacement snacks or anything like that, okay? You'd use those on a combined meal to make it taste like it should. Like, if you want the barbecue or the Italian or the Mexican, then you can use a condiment. So you can remember that you're looking for 5 grams of sugar or less by remembering that the word sugar has 5 letters. So let me give you an example of a real story that happened to me in the grocery store. I was going into the grocery store to buy something and I can't remember what that was, but I was going to buy some Classico traditional pizza sauce. Normally, I buy the traditional pizza sauce at Kroger, but I had gone into Publix to pick up something that only Publix had. And then I went over to the pizza aisle the pizza sauces, because I thought I need to get pizza sauce. And I was just going to grab what I knew I liked and was approved, and it did not have it. And I said, well, okay. I counted. There were 6 pizza sauces on the shelf. And I thought, I can stand here and I can type in the name of every one of these into the food library and see if it's approved, or I can just use the rule. The rule is better to use because not everything is going to make it into the food library that's a condiment, because there's so many of them, all right? So what I did was I started scanning the nutrition label on all 6 jars of pizza sauce. If it had more than 5 grams of sugar in it, I just turned it around. It was not in the running anymore. And then I looked at the fat content. If it had more than 2 grams of fat in it, I turned that one around. It was no longer in the running. So out of the 6 that were there, 2 were left, and I just picked one and purchased it. So that's how you apply that rule when you are in the grocery store. So let's read over a few little examples of condiments. You could have any 0-calorie condiments. 15 calorie or less spices and seasonings. That's often like those McCormick packets and little gravy packets and things. You can use those. Salt and pepper. 15 calorie or less coffee creamers if you're a coffee drinker. Salsa, salsa, reduced sugar ketchup, mustard, hot sauce, Kraft fat-free mayo. And so those are just some of the things that you can use, but you want to make sure that you use your rule. So now let's say that you're going to make yourself a 96% lean ground beef patty, and you like cheese and you like mustard and you like ketchup and you like an onion slice and a tomato slice. Do you think you can get all of that on there as condiments? Well, if you think about it, you probably can, because you could use a piece of Borden. I like Borden's. This is why I say Borden. You could use any fat-free single, about 30 calories. And then if you liked mustard, you could use mustard. Typically, mustard is 0-calorie. And then if you want a little thin slice of onion, no thicker than your pinky, then that's about 4 or 5 calories. It really isn't much, but we'll teach you about onions in a minute, because if you're eating more than that, you want to make sure that you combine it properly. And then if you want a little thin slice of tomato, that wouldn't be many calories, okay? And then you could probably still have a little bit room for maybe 1 tablespoon of ketchup, depending on what the serving is on the item that you're using. So you can get multiple condiments in a meal. They all need to meet the 5 and 2 part, and you don't want to go over more than 50. So you can use multiple condiments, just keep it all in the line of those things, all right? So as we move through tonight's webinar, I am not going to repeat the oils and the condiments. I'm going to do those one time. I'm going to read over the category every single time that we come to a new category. But once I've read category 1 foods listed here, I'm not going to reread them, all right? But what I do recommend that you do is that you write in the foods that you like based on the foods that you like from these categories. If you don't like the food, don't write it down, okay? Because you don't have to eat anything on Planet Shibboleth you don't like. So category 1 is a lean protein. 2 to 8 ounces would be your guideline. Ladies, if you're really wanting to know how to measure that, I would stick with no more than 6. Men could go up to 8. Now, personally, have I ever measured it? No. I put it underneath my hand, and if it fits under my hand and it's no thicker than the thickest part of my hand, then I feel comfortable and I eat it. But if you are a measurer, you like to see those things, then that is your guideline there. So egg whites are here. All fish is here. Chicken breast, turkey breast, pork tenderloin, boar's head turkey, boar's head chicken breast, boar's head London broil, low-fat cottage cheese, fat-free cottage cheese, Greek plain yogurt, Hebrew National 97% lean beef frank, you eat one of those links, and 96% lean ground meat. So last night, I said that there were 7 categories, and out of the 7 categories, there's 5 of them that you don't even have to combine and it would be fine. Which are those 5? Y'all tell me which those 5. Okay, Angie, what category does canned chicken breast fall in? So it depends on the canned chicken breast, but if it's in water, Angie, it's probably going to be a 1. If it is white meat chicken, if it has any dark meat chicken in it, Angie, you'd want to consider that a category 4, just to be safe. If it's white meat, chicken breast is category 1. Dark meat, hey Dory, dark meat and meat with skin is a 4. You're welcome. Awesome, Dory. That's right. That's right. Yep, Tonda, awesome. That's right. Those are the categories that we can eat by themselves. They don't even have to be combined. So that's what this row is showing you. This row, thank you, Gloria. This right here is showing you that you can have category 1 by itself, cook it up in the appropriate oil, doctor it up with the right condiments, and you can have an excellent fat-burning meal. So now we're going to do more of a true combination, okay? We have a new category right here, category 2, fibrous carbs, half a cup up to 1 cup. When you are in weight loss mode, remember there's 2 modes. When you're in weight loss mode, it's really better to keep it to about half a cup. And because that way you're making sure that you don't overdo it. And we are trying to get our stomachs to go back to their more normal size rather than being overly stretched out. So I see that they have a problem here. They put all the category 1s in the category 2. That's not good. Okay, we're gonna have to have them fix that. So let me scroll down here and see if they've got, yeah, look right there. There's our category 2s. Let's see, Hannah, for approved category 2 bread, will I want to keep to 1 slice for weight loss? So Hannah, that is a very good practice to just keep it to 1 slice for weight loss. Here's what you want to make sure that you do, Hannah. Never go over 100 calories of bread in a meal. If that meal could still be satisfying with 1 slice, it would be better for weight loss. The other thing that's a little bit better for weight loss is tortillas are better for weight loss than bread. So like, for example, if I just want to have a piece of toast in the morning, I'll just do 1. But if I'm making myself a grilled cheese sandwich, I'll do 2. If I'm making myself a turkey wrap, I use a tortilla. So I just vary it. I have learned too, Hannah, to enjoy an open face sandwich as well and just eat it with a knife and fork. So it can vary, but no matter what, you never want to go over 100 calories of any bread type item in a meal. All right. So let's go over these category 2s. Broccoli, asparagus, squash, okra, green leafy vegetables, spinach, cabbage, cucumbers, bell peppers, hot peppers, cauliflower, kraut, dill pickles. Now that's just a small little list of category 2 fibrous carbs. There's a lot of them. And as Hannah is asking, there's over 60 approved bread or bread type items in this category 2 fibrous carb column. This is a hallelujah moment for most people, okay? Because on Shibboleth, you don't have to give up any entire groups of food. Yes, it's awesome. We just want to teach you how to use them appropriately, and we want you to buy the ones that have enough fiber in them to break down in your body more like a green bean than an actual bread. Okay, so we're going to go right back up here because we were combining category 1 and 2 right here. So just imagine that this is a category 2 list. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to move forward just a little bit, okay? And I'm going to come back to us making some meals. Category 7 shellfish, 2 to 8 ounces. crab, but not imitation crab. Imitation crab, there are some approved imitation crabs. You would just want to be aware of what category we have deemed that to be, because sometimes with imitation crab, they have added some fillers that could affect the way that that particular item responds in your body. So crab that's not imitation is best. Lobster, shrimp, scallops, oysters, mussels, clams. Okay, category 1 shellfish is really just a what? It's really just a blank blank. And I'm going to have y'all typing in tonight if you don't mind. Yes, Hannah, awesome. A lean protein, Samantha, awesome. Great. Annette, Tonda, thank you. Awesome. Good. So shellfish is really just a lean protein. Thank you, Jennifer. I love that y'all are answering. So anytime you're eating something and somebody says, oh, you're going to need a lean protein with that, if you like shellfish, you can pull your lean protein from category 1 or category 7. Now, all of fish, we just kind of consider in a regular lean protein category. This is the category that's pulled off from the regular one just because, due to medical reasons and biblical reasons, some people do not want to eat shellfish. So it's pulled off on its own, okay? Now, this shellfish doesn't actually have to have a shell either for it to be here. We're just any other critter that lives in water that's not a fish goes here. All right. So that's one way we can think about it. And this is often one of those categories where you're going to use your ghee butter. So shrimp scampi, or maybe you're going to dip some crab legs or some lobster tail and you want that butter flavor. Well, you would use ghee butter, okay, rather than the butter that has milk solids still left in it. We're going to use this, which is just the fats left. So you can have shellfish by itself, cook it up in the right oil, and doctor it up with the right condiments, and you would have an excellent fat burning meal. Okay, so now I just want you to see, they accidentally had the category 1s listed in my category 2 column. So let's imagine that you are putting together a meal that is a lean protein, and it can come from either one, category 1 or category 7. And look at some of these category 2s. I would like for you to put some meals together for me. So y'all start typing in some things that you would like to eat that you see here. Awesome, Hannah. Chicken and asparagus. Now, I'm just going to make little edits as I see. I know that you mean chicken breast, Hannah, but I'm just going to say chicken breast. Because if it were dark meat chicken, that would be a category 4. It's still an approved combination, but I'm just saying that. A grilled burger, and the burger that Samantha would want to use would be a 96% lean ground beef. All right, we got chicken breast and mustard greens. Yeah, I said thank you, Samantha. And salad with grilled chicken breast cooked in MCT oil with green beans. Annette is making the fastest fat burning combination by adding that MCT in there. And Hannah, egg whites and bell peppers. That sounds like a great breakfast. And Valerie, chicken breast and garlic green beans. She's even added in some condiments, some seasoning. Lisa, salmon and broccoli. Awesome. Cheryl, pork loin and yellow squash. Yum. Awesome. Okay. So that is what that means, that we're just going to combine that. So let's see, Sheila. So we don't eat much beef. We eat bear and venison. Okay. Now, I've never been asked about the bear, but the venison, it depends on how you have had it processed. So venison, if it is 96% lean or greater, is a category 1. If you've added a whole bunch of fat to it in the processing of it, then it could still be a category 4. So really it depends on how you've processed it, Sheila. As for the bear question, you might want to ask that in our shibboleth fixed it group. Okay, so the venison would definitely be a category 1 when you don't add anything to it. As for the bear, I don't know. So you might ask that in the shibboleth fixed it group. Angie, 96% lean ground beef and butternut squash. Yes, that is delicious, Angie, by the way. And then Tonda says, in the food library, I saw a -3 up to a +3 next to foods. What is that number? Okay, that number is the weight loss meter, the weight loss meter. And I would love to explain that just a little bit more tonight. I'm going to wait until the end, Tonda. And I also go over it in some of the other laps too, as you are working through the fast track laps this week, and we will touch base on that. But basically, Tonda, that is an additional way to see which foods are best for weight loss. All right. So it'll help you make an even more informed decision. That's what that's going to do. All right, so you can kind of see about combining. I want to go back up and talk about these lean proteins though. So 96% lean ground meat, that is meat of any kind. So I would assume that that bear, Sheila, without anything in there, could be a lean protein. But see, all steak is a category 4. So that's why I want to make sure about that bear, Sheila. Okay. So if it's 96% lean ground meat, it needs to be 96 or higher. Let's talk about some of these things. The reason that boar's head, bison is fine. I would just also watch out for the percentage of the leanness. The percentage of the leanness is what determines where it goes. So bacon varies. Canadian bacon, Lisa, is a category 1 lean protein. There are some other bacons in category 4, and I'll tell you what, we'll look some of those up in the end as well, okay? Because there's a few, not a whole bunch, but there's a few. And the reason that boar's head is listed right here is because we know that's an extremely lean meat, but you can use a lot of different deli meats, okay? And then see where it says pork tenderloin? If you do see any visible fat on that pork tenderloin, please trim it off, because we use pork tenderloin to keep us safe as a lean protein, and we can eat that with potatoes and things like that if we wanted to. So if you see any visible fat on it, just trim it off, just a suggestion. Okay, so we're going to scroll down a little bit more. We have a new category here, category 4, protein plus fat, 2 to 6 ounces. Now you'll notice that the ounces went down just a little bit. The reason that they went down just a little bit is because, I want to write myself a note, is because there's 4 calories in 1 gram of protein, and there's 9 calories in 1 gram of fat. So if you have a little less of protein plus fat, you're still getting the calories that you need and everything. So that's why the ounces are a little bit less. I just want to explain that. But to tell you the truth, I've never measured that either, except for underneath my hand. It does come in handy when I go to a restaurant and they ask me what size steak I want. I now know that I don't go over the 6 ounces. But this is where your whole eggs are. All cuts of steak are here. Pork ribs, beef ribs, pulled pork, beef brisket, 93% lean up to 95.9% lean ground meat, and turkey kielbasa as long as no more than 50% of the calories come from fat. So when you're dealing with pork products, most pork products are going to be in a category 4, but your pork tenderloin and your Canadian bacon are a category 1. Now, let's talk about this part right here. 93% lean up to 95.9% lean ground meat. You know, that could be ground beef, that could be ground turkey, ground chicken, whatever. It's just that you don't want to go less than 93% lean. I mean, because if it's less than 93% lean, basically what has happened is they've taken a whole bunch of fat and added a little bit of meat to it. So if it's less than 93% lean, like, 90, 85, 80, that is not approved for a perfect day. So keep it into that category for a category 4. So category 4 can be eaten by itself. I would say that you are not planning on piling up some protein plus fat plate, okay? You'd still want it just to go underneath this one hand. This is also great information if you need to make a really good choice in a certain situation. Like I described yesterday with like going to a luncheon and there's nothing there that wouldn't bring an insulin release. And so therefore you say, oh, they've got chicken, or oh, they've got steak. That's what I'm going to eat. Then you can do that. Um, Sheila, the hand measurements are this. We take our two hands, we close our fingers up, we move our thumbs out of the way, we put our hands together as close as possible, and then we lower them down over our food. And we just don't want to see any food. This is our measuring tool. But if I'm eating a protein plus fat just by itself, I don't want it to be more than would fit under one hand, because I'm not trying to pile up some big giant fat plate, of food like full of fats, because we still have to portion control that. Okay. So you can eat it by itself, but optimally, you'd eat it with a category 2. You're welcome, Sheila. Let's see. And Valerie, is it okay to roast our own turkey breast? Oh, yes. Yes, Valerie. Yes, please do. That's, yeah, totally fine. In fact, much, much better. You're right. So when you take your category 4 and then you add it with a category 2, that is more optimal. So who can tell me something they would put together from these two lists right here? Let's put together some meals. What would you put together? Steak and broccoli. That is my new favorite at a restaurant where I'm ordering steak, Hannah. So instead of steak and baked potato, I get the steak and broccoli. Let me just tell you, people do broccoli right out there in restaurants. I mean, it's good. Steak and cottage cheese. Now, guess what? They've messed up this list. So Annette, let's not do steak and cottage cheese. This is all messed up. They were supposed to have fixed a few things, and instead they made some mistakes, additional mistakes. So thank you, Jennifer and Cheryl and Annette. Annette, reverse that learning you just did. I didn't even notice that. I was just assuming it was category 2. Pulled pork and green beans. Now, Sheila, we wouldn't, y'all, we got to not worry about this right here, because that is wrong. They're going to have to fix that. Whole eggs and cottage cheese, that actually could be an approved combination, Sheila. Yeah, they're going to fix this. But do y'all see how when it says category 2 fibers, carbs, these aren't fibers, carbs listed. That's what they need to fix. But Tonda would have ground beef, the 95% and up, and cucumbers. Well, it could be 93 to 95 and cucumbers. Good. Awesome. Awesome. Okay, category 6, superfoods. So what food, and I don't know about that, Valerie. If you think that would taste good, I'm sure you could do that. Low fat cottage cheese sprinkled with lemon pepper. I don't know. But lemon pepper sounds like a condiment, and you could eat a category 1 by itself, which would be cottage cheese. So I guess you could sprinkle that with some lemon pepper if you wanted to. So category 6, superfood. Now, last night I said that a food qualifies to be a superfood if it has what? It has all, yes, it has all 4 macronutrients. Awesome, Hannah, Dory, awesome. Yes, and Annette listed them out for us. Water, protein, carbs, and fat. Yep, it's got all the macronutrients in it. So that's what qualifies a food to be a superfood. So we got pintos, black beans, red beans, soybeans, peanut butter, nuts, and seeds. Okay, so all of those things, and that's just a tiny list. See, we're just touching base today on some things so you can start to see what types of foods go in these categories. When this shows you 1 cup up to 1.5 cups, that basically means if you were eating it alone. If you were eating it with a combination of things, you wouldn't be able to do a cup to 1.5 cups. Okay, we have to do less than that, so it would fit underneath our hands. So this is where your peanut butter is, your nuts, and your seeds. So you can have superfoods by itself because it has all 4 macronutrients in there. It's basically just kind of taking care of itself, really. But the superfood category varies greatly, and as you continue to live the lifestyle, you can learn a lot about that nutrition too. So we can have a superfood by itself, and doctor it up with the right condiments and eat that by itself if we wanted to. Now look, they did not put my list in here right again. So we're going to pretend that we've got a superfood with some fibrous carbs, which are not listed right there. And this is where you would find a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Okay, let's do this. Peanut butter is a superfood. If you use a category 2 fibrous carb bread as your bread, and sugar-free or the low sugar Smuckers or the good jam that's sweetened with stevia, if you don't like sugar-free stuff, then that right there would be a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. This is where you simply find a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. You just want to make sure you use the right peanut butter, the right bread, and the right jelly. While we're on the topic of a sandwich, if we put together we want to make a grilled cheese sandwich, you can take an approved category 2 bread, you can take a category 1 fat-free sliced cheese, you could use some, I can't believe it's not butter spray, and make yourself a grilled cheese. I even put a little bit of turkey into it too, which is really, really good. All right, so yeah, it looks like they've just messed up the category 2 list right here. So right now we got a new category, a category 3, energy carb. They called it a complex carb. So anytime you see a complex carb, make sure that you also know that we call that an energy carb too. You would want to stick to about a quarter of a cup, okay? About a quarter of a cup. White potato, sweet potato, actually any type of potato is here. Oatmeal, steel cut oats, weight control oatmeal, long grain brown rice, quinoa, lima beans, peas, tomato, onions, carrots, whole wheat pasta, and whole grain pasta. So these are just some examples, but I have never purchased whole wheat or whole grain pasta after I found out that there are better choices in Shibboleth. I buy the Explore Cuisine pasta. Okay, I see some questions. I will get back to those questions in just a second. I buy the Explore Cuisine pasta. There is also a pasta called Carbonata pasta. That's another good pasta. So I buy those rather than this whole wheat pasta, because you can actually have a little bit more of that other pasta rather than a quarter cup of that pasta. Carrots, as we discussed last night, if they are cooked, they are a category 3 energy carb. But if they are those raw baby carrots, you actually can use those as a freebie if necessary. Tomatoes and onions. People are often question that this is in the category 3 energy carb, where you need to be saying ding, 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 ding. This category must be combined with a lean protein and a fibrous carb. So if you're going to have enough tomato, or if you're going to have enough onion that it's going to be a quarter cup or more, quarter cup, you need to consider that an energy carb so that you combine it properly. But if you're just having a thin little slice like we discussed earlier, no thicker than your pinky, you could call that a condiment. But if it's going to be a quarter cup or more, you need to consider it a energy carb. So this is where all of your peas are. Most of your lighter colored beans are here, and so forth. So let's say that we want to have some field peas. All right. So the field peas are going to bring, and they're going to elevate your blood sugar. Your pancreas is going to secrete insulin to deal with the blood sugar elevation. But at a quarter of a cup, you didn't overeat field peas. All right. So just imagine your hands. The field peas are going to sit about right there. Okay. And you're going to put, I'm just keeping it simple, but we got this full list here. Let's just say that you put some pork tenderloin here, pork tenderloin, and let's just say that you put some broccoli here. Okay. So what's going to happen is your blood sugar elevated, your pancreas secreted insulin to deal with that. We are learning to eat in a way that controls insulin, so that the protein in the pork tenderloin and the fiber that's in the broccoli are going to help neutralize the insulin release that came from the field peas. And you have had a properly combined meal that controlled insulin. All right, so that's excellent. So let me go back and answer these questions. How do we know what's the right peanut butter? Okay, there is a lot of approved peanut butter, Karen. You do not want any peanut butter that has hydrogenated vegetable oil in it. So as long as it doesn't have hydrogenated vegetable oil in it, then you have then it'll be approved. But in this on Planet Shibboleth, there's a hierarchy of peanut butter. If you want what would be some of the best, it's called better, and then an N, better in peanut butter, better than peanut butter. And so that particular peanut butter has high protein with a lot of the fat been removed. And so it's giving you high protein with less fat. So that's a great peanut butter to have, better than peanut butter. We do sell it in our online store, so you can get it from there. If you like peanut butter, you could get better than peanut butter and MCT oil all in one order, and it could be boom to your house and very, very quickly. The next one is nuts and more. Nuts and more, y'all. Nuts and more is delicious. I like the white chocolate pretzel nuts and more peanut butter. They also just have the peanut butter spread nuts and more, but I like that flavored one. Now, you can also use the peanut butter and company peanut butter. Now, there's a lot of other ones like Jif Natural, all of those. Those are approved. But those other ones have higher protein in them, and they have typically lower fat. So those are the three that we like best. But anything without hydrogenated vegetable oil in it will work fine for peanut butter. And if you're looking for quantity of peanut butter, the better in peanut butter allows you to have 4 tablespoons for a meal or 2 for a snack, whereas all other peanut butters, 2 tablespoons for a meal and 1 for a snack. So if you're looking for quantity, you might want to go with the other one. The reason I know these things is because when I began in the beginning, I went to the food library for absolutely everything. I didn't try to guess at things. I went to the food library. I read the category that it came in. I read the quantity that it could use. I would just start learning those things by playing in the food library a lot. Let's see. Angie, peanut butter, reduced sugar strawberry jam on an extreme wellness wrap is delicious. Yes, that would be really good, Angie. And that is an approved meal too. Okay, Sheila, I have around 50 jars of strawberry freezer jam in my deep freeze. What do I do? It's not sugar free. Sheila, you can use that on a holiday. So you could just use it on a holiday. That's what I would do. Or you could give it as gifts too. Okay, so Hannah is asking a really great question. Is Carbonata a category 3? So Carbonata is actually a category 1, 2, and 3. So when I say something like that, what that means to you, so let me go to it actually. Let me go to Carbonata, because I want you to see this. This food library is going to be your best friend. Okay, so here's Carbonata. See right here where it says category? Do you see how it says category 1, category 2, and category 3? What that means to you is it's got a lot of lean protein in it, it's got a lot of fibers, carbs in it, and it's got some energy carbs in it. So it's got all 3. So let's say this is a great application question. I want y'all to see. I want to see if y'all are starting to kind of understand. If we wanted to have some meat with this pasta, which categories could you pull from for some meat with this pasta? There's 2 categories. That's right, Samantha. 1 and 7, 1 and 7. Yep, that's right, Annette, Hannah, good, awesome. Why would you not pull, thank you, Jennifer and Lisa, Angie, good, Valerie, awesome. Why would you not pull from category 4, which is your protein plus fat? Why would you not? Correct. This category 3 is telling you don't eat in category 4 protein plus fats with me. So you could have chicken breasts with this, you could have shrimp with this, you could have 96% lean ground beef with this, but you wouldn't put steak because that's category 4, and you wouldn't put 93 to 95% lean ground meat with this. Yes, you would not combine that. So good. See that right there, y'all are already applying that. That's awesome. So while we are looking at this pasta, we're going to go and look up Explore Cuisine. There's going to be several Explore Cuisines, y'all. Explore Cuisine is a brand. Look at all those different brands of Explore Cuisine, okay? While we're on the topic of this, I can't remember who asked the question earlier, but I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to approach the weight loss meter, the -3 and the +3 that someone asked about earlier. So you see right here where it says weight loss meter, -3, +3. And you see these little slider balls here? And then you can see when I'm hovering over that line, that little range comes up. So right now we've got the full range. But if I wanted the best of the best for weight loss, it probably is going to be negative numbers. So I'm going to scroll that down and I'm going to set my little range from -1 to -3. And then I'm going to hit set. Jennifer, you can buy Explore Cuisine at other stores. Yeah, it's sold at other stores. I just don't know them all. Well, I'll show you something in just a second, Jennifer. This website is amazing, y'all. So this is going to be the best of the best. So you see how that's a -1? This one's a -3. If it were me and I wanted the best for weight loss, I'm picking this Explore Cuisine organic black bean spaghetti pasta noodles. And I want to assure you, they look different because they're darker, but they taste great. So I would give them a try. I also really like this edamame and mung bean. Well, not that one. It's this one. This one. The edamame spaghetti pasta noodles. That's the other one that I really like. And they're even giving you some other options right down here, the Simply Nature ones. So there's a lot of options. Yeah, Tonda. So that's where, did you see how I rearranged that? And it eliminated all the ones that were 0 or above because the negative numbers are better for weight loss. Yeah, so that just gives us a secondary way to look at that. So let me just click right here on these spaghetti. There's that number again. It's a -3. And you'll notice that there's a different color around that when you open it up. So see how that's a little bit darker, but it tastes fine. And let's see if we can look at the other one, because if your family might not like that darker, hey, if your kids are young, they won't ever know. Okay, just start feeding them that now. They won't know. But if they're older, you might go, what? See these right here? You can't hardly tell once you've mixed in some spaghetti sauce or something like that these might be a slightly different color. Okay, but have a look right here. This is lean protein and fibrous carbs. Do you see how this is 2 categories in one as well? So that's 2 categories in one. Let's see. Did you see how I scrolled down and it gives you some recipes that go with this too? This Travis spaghetti is so, so good. 262 people have said they liked this Travis spaghetti. It's got a rating of 5, and the whole recipe on its own is a -2, which is fabulous. And look right down here where it says, Jennifer, where it says where to buy. We can scroll down. This is not information that's entered by Shibboleth. This is information that's entered by members. So a member has added Sprouts to the website, and people have confirmed that you could buy this at Sprouts. You could probably also buy it at Whole Foods, and I've seen it at, I can't remember if it was Kroger or Publix, but I've seen it there too. It's just that people haven't come in to do that. We don't have time to add all of that. But anytime y'all want to add where you find things, please do. It helps us. Okay, let's see these other questions that they were above. Yeah, Jennifer, Jif Natural and Peanut Butter and Company are great. They work just fine. Most marinades, Catherine, are approved. If it's got way too much sugar in it, now the marinade, are you making it yourself or does it have a label? If it's got a label, you can just check out the label. But if you've made it yourself, we can have a look at what it's in there. But anytime anybody has a question about what's approved, as a matter of fact, let's just do this for the fun of it. We're getting a little off track tonight, but I hope y'all don't mind. Marinade. I love questions and I like going all over this website. I'm just going to put marinade in and see what comes up. So here's an Allegro marinade, a Berman's herb and garlic marinade. So here's a whole bunch of different marinades right here. So if you don't see the marinade that you want to use, Catherine, I would just submit it to the Shibboleth Fixed It Facebook group. And Kim Shibboleth, which is not me, but a different Kim, she will look at that for you, okay? Good, Jennifer. I'm glad that was helpful. Let's see. Yep. There's a whole bunch of approved marinades right there. And so you'll notice that they're zero, on the weight loss meter, because not going to help you, not going to hurt you. They're really just intended for flavoring. So Kathy is asking, what kind of cereal can I have with Carb Master milk? Kathy, we're going to get to that in just a second. It is on this document that I'm using. Okay, so we will get back to that question in just a second. All right, so we're going to scroll down because you can see right here, category 3, energy carbs must be combined with a lean protein and a fibrous carb. So now we have a new category, fruit. I'm not going to read that list because all fruit is in fruit, but I am going to read the top 4: berries, apples, oranges, and grapefruit. And you'll notice that it's no more than a cup of berries, and the apple would be a medium or small, orange would be medium or small, and grapefruit would be like half of a large one. The reason I read those top 4 is because if you're curious about which ones would be the lowest glycemic, they would bring the lowest insulin, blood sugar elevation, then those would be the ones. Okay. But let's say that you want to have maybe you're making a brown bag sandwich. A brown bag lunch. All right. And you want an apple. So you throw in an apple in your lunch bag, and then you want a wrap of some sort. I would take maybe some boar's head turkey breast or some approved turkey breast. Maybe take an Olay Extreme Wellness high fiber tortilla, which is a category 2 fibrous carb. Ignore that list, y'all, please, because those are lean proteins. I just accidentally put it in both spots. And then maybe you put some spinach to wrap up in there, or maybe some lettuce to wrap up in there. You know what I've started using on a tortilla? I will take the little Laughing Cow wedge, the Laughing Cow cheese wedges. I'll take that and I will spread that all over my tortilla. I use that in place of mayonnaise because it kind of will give you some moisture to your sandwich, but it also gives you some flavor too. So maybe you wrap that. You spread that on your wrap, put some turkey, some spinach, or some lettuce, roll that up. You've got a category 1, 2, and 5, which is an approved category. It's the fruit. When you are in weight loss mode, fruit must be combined properly. Okay, so that would make a nice little approved brown bag lunch, all right? But once you get to maintenance, you may also have a serving of fruit as a snack if you wanted to. So if you're eating it combined with a meal, you should really just go ahead and combine it properly. On a perfect day, you don't want to eat fruit with a protein plus fat, but if you are in maintenance and you want to have a piece of fruit as a snack, you can do that. All right, so let's go over some other things. Yes, Annette, Laughing Cow cheese is a condiment. So Laughing Cow cheese, in the approved food library, it'll say the light version. But when I looked at it in the store, the light version and the regular version was exactly the same. So yeah, I just buy Laughing Cow cheese and use it. It's good. So category 2, breads. Less bread is best. And if you are wanting to just have some best practices, bread at breakfast or lunch would be better than having it at dinner. Here's why. Bread is still carby, okay? We're just telling you the best of the best to buy, all right? But it's still a little bit carby. So 2 to 3 grams of water attaches itself to every 1 gram of carb. So if you have those late in the day, they don't really have time to get off of your body before you weigh in the morning, and you could be disappointed. So now I want you to know that even if you had it in the evening, even though you might not see what you want on the scale, I don't want it to cause a disappointment for you. But please know that it would still be burning fat. You would still be burning fat. You actually can still be burning fat and have a little bit of water holding on to something. You can see maybe a half a pound increase on the scale sometimes with just water. But if you're doing all the right things, please know that you're still burning fat. It just wasn't visible to the scale because of water that was held on to. But see, you don't even need to worry about all that. You'll learn that more and understand more of all of that in the end. I'm just giving kind of best practices things, and I felt like I needed to explain it. But La Tortilla Factory 50-calorie tortilla works. Olay Extreme Wellness high fiber tortilla, Healthy Life bread, Bran Crisp bread. Bran Crisp bread is really just a cracker. It's not like a bread, but I really like it for, I do all kinds of different things with it. We do sell that at the store. They have sunflower seed ones, pumpkin seed ones, and then I think a honey and raisin as well. Healthy Life hot dog buns, Thomas Light, the 100-calorie English muffins. Those also work. Now, let me just tell you about something. My first experience, I had kind of quit eating bread before Shibboleth. And so I had been cutting things out, but still wasn't really losing weight. And hold on, I'm writing myself a note. I see another thing. They changed all kinds of things on my list this past week. So, but anyway, I bought myself some English muffins because I used to love English muffins. Well, I ate an English muffin a couple of weeks in, and I was so full. I'm talking boom. They just was so heavy in my stomach. And so what I told myself in my journal for this, sorry, my husband let my dog in here and now she wants out. Hang on. So I had this and I wrote in my journal. This is what's so great about writing in a journal. I wrote, I feel too full after eating this meal. Well, I wrote that down in my journal. Well, when you write something down, you may not have an answer for what you want to do about it right at that moment. But as I pondered things throughout the day, I thought, well, why do I need to eat the whole thing? I could just have half of it. Well, there's 8 English muffins in an English muffin package. If you're just eating those, you yourself are just eating them. If you split them every single day, then that would make 16 meals, not 8. You're saving money by splitting that and you won't feel as full. So what I like to do is I like to do that with an open face sandwich. I'll put maybe some, I can't believe it's not butter spray on there if I even need it. I don't even really need it. I toast it, put some Borden fat-free cheese on it and 2 whole eggs, and just eat that with a knife and a fork. So I split those myself. Yeah, they're the carb balance tortilla. Yeah, I'm pretty sure, Samantha, that one is approved. There's actually a lot of tortillas that are approved. If you go into the food library and type in tortilla, you will be able to see a whole list. Yeah, yeah. You're welcome. You're welcome. Now, approved sweeteners, stevia, Splenda, monk fruit, xylitol. Yes. Now, Annette, make sure that you look in the food library. So, for example, I never saw the Sara Lee Delightful approved at the honey wheat one. I didn't see that one approved, but the multigrain is approved and so forth. So let's look at this. I'm going to do 2 things. We're going to type in tortilla just to see. I want y'all to see all the different tortillas that there are. And then we'll type in the Sara Lee bread. So all of these things have the word tortilla in it. Look at all that. Okay. Now, this is a great way to narrow down what's going to be the best of the best for your choices. We're going to go ahead and we're going to use our weight loss meter. I want to see the best of the best. I want to eliminate the things I don't want to use. It also helps you have a smaller list to pull from, because sometimes it's easier just to pull from a smaller list. So it's generating our new little list there. Lots of La Tortilla factory ones. There's a whole bunch of Mission ones right there, Samantha. There's the Olay ones. I like these Olay ones. There's some Trader Joe ones and a whole bunch of others. So that's where you want to do that. I shop at Aldi mostly. Are any Aldi brands approved? A lot, Sheila. A lot of Aldi brands are approved. And in fact, let me show you something really cool in just a second. Now, as for their tortillas, I might have eliminated them. I don't know with my using of the little weight loss meter, but we will check that. A lot of foods at Aldi are approved. Oh, you're welcome, Lisa. You're welcome. Glad you were here. I hope you are getting it. I hope you're getting those combinations, Lisa. Sarah Lee. Okay, so Sarah Lee. So you've got the healthy multigrain bread. You got the honey whole wheat bread, the 45 calorie white made with whole grain, and then the Sara Lee 80 calorie hot dog buns, and the 80 calorie wheat hamburger buns. And then there's some chicken breast stuff. So let's read this one. So that's the one I buy right here. It's category 2 fibrous carb. And look, it says approved portion, 2 slices. It's 45 calories. So if you did 2 slices, it would be 90. It'd be 90 calories. So that wouldn't be over that 100, that guideline that I gave with that. But if you can just do one or an open face sandwich, that would be better. But I understand if you're making like a grilled cheese and stuff, that needs better. And then look, French toast and Canadian bacon. This meal is delicious, by the way. Love it. And then there's MCT croutons. I mean, we just teach you how to make all kinds of really cool and fun stuff with this. And then there's listed out where you can buy that. And let's just go back and see what that other Sara Lee was. The honey whole wheat bread. Okay, honey whole wheat. It's category 2. That one works too then. Okay. So yes, so those are good breads. Now you'll notice that bread, it's a 0 on the weight loss meter. All right. That means not going to help you, not going to hurt you, but it still gives people the bread that they want without making them gain fat because of bringing an insulin release from buying the wrong kind of bread. Okay. Now, Aldi, I'm going to go right there. I'm going to show you something. I clicked on the green button, resources. We're going to come down here to grocery store search. Aldi. Aldi has 281 approved items. When you click on Aldi, it has, oops, not that. There's a list of all of the approved items currently that we have analyzed at Aldi. Isn't that exciting, Sheila? That was good. That's valuable right there for you. Okay, we're needing to wrap this up. So I want to go back to the top and make sure I answered that question. I answered the weight loss question. Oh, bacon. Let's look up bacon. See, now my dog is barking to get back in. Not barking. She's sitting outside my door going, vroom, vroom. You know, she just makes that noise. In the joys of working from home. I love working from home. Believe me, it doesn't bother me. Yeah, Sheila's excited about that. Okay, so here are the things that have the word bacon in it. So you would just basically what you would need to do is just kind of go through there, and I would click on them and look at them at the different things. But there's a fit and active turkey bacon. There's quite a bit of turkey bacon listed. Okay. And if you're not wanting turkey bacon, if you're wanting like bacon, I believe I saw one at Kroger, Private Selection. This one right here, Private Selection center cut bacon is a -2 at Kroger. It would be a protein plus fat. Okay, it's protein plus fat. You would not want to have more than 4 slices. That's actually quite a bit, isn't it? And I would not put that with any energy carbs, fruit, or superfoods. So you would eat this with maybe maybe you could also do an egg white spinach omelet with that. You can add more protein. That's not going to hurt. But then some spinach would give you this breakdown, or maybe you have a piece of Sara Lee toast. Now, obviously, all vegetables would be better than the toast, okay, but it still will work. It still will work. But it's not required that you have bread with it. See, there's some kale listed there if you like kale. And the reason that this one only has Kroger there is that Private Selection is their brand. Now, Dr. Jim, who is one of the Shibboleth team members, he has done a lot of videos on what you can buy at the different stores. Watch this. I'm going to click on that video library and I'm going to click on the silver level. And look right here, virtual grocery store tours with Dr. Jim. These are going to be great. And they are, look, Kroger, Walmart, Super Target. So if you shop at those stores, watch some of these. There's Ingles and Publix and all kinds of stuff. These are going to be very valuable to you to watch to see what's in those grocery stores. And we're going to go back over here and try to wrap this up real quick. Approved sweeteners. Anything that's 0 calorie works fine. If you don't like Splenda, don't use it. Okay, approved beverages. Water. Nothing trumps getting in your water every day. At least 4 of these at 64 ounces. So you want to be shooting for a gallon, though. But you could do any unsweet tea or approved tea in any 0 calorie beverage, but it doesn't take the place of your water. 15 calories of creamer and afternoon coffee. You can do that. Approved creamer, as long as it's approved creamer, that's fine, Hannah. Totally fine. This cheese right here, this is what I want you to know about this cheese. And look, they wrote the condiments wrong. Man, what did they do to my list? That should say 50 calories, not 100. You don't want your calories to be more than 50 on condiments. But just know that cheese can be used as a condiment. It also is a category 1 or a category 4, depending on the fat content of it. So all of your fat-free cheeses are going to be a lean protein, but when you start to buy something like the 2% American singles, that would be a protein plus fat. So you would just want to keep that in mind and do that appropriately. Now, cereal. When you are eating an approved cereal, you're going to want to use fat-free Fairlife milk or Kroger Carb Master milk. Those are the best because this is fat-free, but it has also been fortified with protein. So if you like to bread some of your foods, coconut flour, Carb Quick flour, Bob's TVP, almond flour, all of those work, which is great. Lactose intolerant options, we would need to look that up, Dory. Okay, let's look that up. And actually, I don't think that this Kroger Carb Master has any lactose in it. Lactose free. The Kroger Carb Master is lactose free. And tonight at the store, I bought the regular version, I bought the vanilla version, and I bought the chocolate version. What about sugar-free Jell-O made with Carb Master milk? I have no idea. Samantha, let's see. What about sugar-free Jell-O? You make Jell-O with milk? Maybe, I mean, I don't make a lot of Jell-O, so maybe I just don't know. Pudding. Okay, pudding. Sugar-free Jell-O pudding, maybe. I would think that would work. Personally, I would think that it would work fine. Let's see. Jell-O pudding. Let's see if it pulls it up. Oops, I could spell Jell-O right. Jell-O pudding. Okay, Jell-O sugar-free pudding. Now it's a 1. Okay, look at that. So it's not a 0. Awesome. Tonda, feel free to come back and look right here at these other little things, but we've pretty much gone over except for the cereals. If you are going to eat a phase 2 cereal, it must be with this milk. Okay. If you're going to eat a phase 1 cereal, that just means that some cereals are better than the others. Then you would want to make sure that you have an appropriate milk with it. But everything is told you in the food library. Thank you for joining. Okay. So let's look at this pudding. Now, just notice, Samantha, it's a positive number. So a positive number in weight loss really means this is more maintenance type food. Now, it's not going to hurt you if you do it every once in a while. Be fine. You just wouldn't want it. Yeah, yikes. That's funny, Samantha. You just wouldn't want to be doing this every single day. This would be more like a weekly treat in maintenance. I mean, in weight loss, still keeping a perfect day. That's what I would consider that. So, yep. 1 to 1.5 cup if made with Kroger Carb Master or fat-free Fairlife milk only. Yep, so you would do that, Samantha. You'd make it with that. So, and this, if y'all have ever done anything with Bisquick, Carb Quick is now your new friend, Carb Quick. Now, do not use the recipes that are on the Carb Quick box. They did not take into account the other Shibboleth rules when they put those recipes on the box. But if you click on Carb Quick, it's going to bring you to the, I don't know why it takes you to that. I wanted it to take you somewhere else. This thing is wonderful. I love it. I'm speaking positively. Okay, Carb Quick. If you click on Carb Quick and click right there, and it's even a -1, look right here. It's generating 6 pages of recipes. I'm talking beef pot pie, beer battered fish, Carb Quick blueberry muffins, all kinds of things that have Carb Quick in it. So Carb Quick is actually a really nice staple for you to have in your pantry. Now, earlier when I was talking about cereals, Kashi Go Lean, K's Natural Cereal, and the High Low Nutritious Living are some of the best cereals that you can buy. But what we're going to do real quick is we're going to come into the food library. Do you see right here where it says phase 1 cereal and this says phase 2 cereal? Phase 1 cereal is the best cereal for weight loss purposes. Phase 2, it's got like Captain Crunch in it and stuff. You've got to know inherently that that's not the best of the best things for you, but we want to teach you how to use everything, all right? But this is some of the best cereal. And I really enjoy this AHS Cinnamon Crisp cereal. I buy that at the Shibboleth store. High Low Nutritious Living, I'm pretty sure that's, you can purchase that maybe at Ingles. This, the other cereal that I buy, this is K's Natural Cereal. It's some of the best too. Any of these phase 1 cereals, if there's anybody out there who likes almond milk, it would need to be unsweetened almond milk, but you could have unsweetened almond milk with these. But if you pop over into phase 2 cereals, absolutely, you must have it with one of those no fat, high protein milks, because you have to keep in mind that cereals are starchy. Even the appropriate approved ones, they're starchy. And so to help offset the starchiness of them, you need that high protein milk with no fat in there because you don't want the starchiness to collect the fat. Now look, this list is long, but also notice what this is, 0, 0, 0, 0, meaning really not going to help you, not going to hurt you. Now it's probably better than what you maybe choose to use if it wasn't approved. And now that you're learning what milk to put with it, that would be better. So there's all kinds of approved. And look, I just click show more and there's some more. So all of those cereals are approved, phase 2 cereals, but only with one of the protein milks. And then just to wrap up, make sure that you have had a look here at all of these, the different things in the recipe library, not the recipe, the restaurant guide. You want to know how to order quickly at a restaurant. Because you know what? Sometimes when you end your day, you're tired. You are tired. And you're ready just to go home and kick your feet up. And we can let hungry, we can let angry, we can let lonely, and we can let tiredness help hurt our decision making. So you gotta have practiced. This is what I'm ordering. See, tonight, what we had for dinner, we had 8 chicken nuggets and a side salad for dinner. Myself and my son did. So that's what we had from Chick-fil-A today. It was good. Now, Chick-fil-A, the fried nuggets are approved. The fried filet is approved. The fried spicy filet is approved. Their grilled nuggets are approved, and their grilled filet is approved. Their chicken strips are not approved. So it must be that that's made with a different type of batter or something. Let's see. Are they the same portions, phase 1 and phase 2? I don't know, Samantha. What I would want to do is go in here. Let's see. Let me just click on one. Fruity Cheerios. Fruity Cheerios, 3/4 of a cup. Okay, so now, but I bet you anything that can change too. So y'all, what I do is I look up everything in the food library and I use it accordingly, because Kim Shibboleth has put all this information in here, and she would have taken into account if you should only have half a cup of that cereal based on what it is. So make sure that you look at it. It's not just a general rule for every cereal. But this phase 1 cereal, I'm going to look it up. And I'm going to click on this Special K protein cereal because it comes in a box. Some of those other cereals come in packets. Okay, so in this one, you could have a cup of this cereal, 1 cup. But I would just make sure that I checked each one individually of the ones I was wanting to eat. Because you don't really need to know everything about all the cereals. You just need to know about the cereals you're going to be eating. And so, okay, this one is, yeah, you like cereals. Yeah. So right here, these protein cereals, they're 3/4 of a cup up to 1.5 cups. So there's a little variation there. These cereals come in individual packets or a box. This this one that's right here is called French vanilla. That's the flavor there. That's so good. These are kind of like Apple Jacks. These are good. I tried these this weekend. And you could get these in our store. When you see this red button that says find it on Amazon, that means that if you go through this button or any red find it on Amazon button on the Shibboleth website to get to the food, to get to Amazon, Shibboleth will get a little kickback for it, which is helpful to our ministry. So anytime I need to buy anything on Amazon, I come to the food library first and I go through there to get to Amazon, even if I don't actually buy the item that I clicked on to get to Amazon. And then I'll throw, you could put like anything in there. You could put a sofa in there and we'll get credit. So that's a really great thing to know. But back over here, just make sure that you know how to order at your favorite restaurants. Have it roll off your tongue. This is what I do. This is what I do now. And then the other thing that's missing here that I'd like for them to add are meal replacements. But in one of the laps in Fast Track, you are going to, well, actually, while we're here, I want to show that. We're going to go back to Fast Track. Because you participated in tonight's video, and if you're watching it on replay, that's okay too. See where it says right here, participate in the Monday night live webinar? Right there, you can watch it. It's on demand. So you can go ahead now and you can click that one off because you've done that. Because you have already done that. And this right here, this link is the link that we used tonight. Now I'm going to be doing some editing of it, but this is the link that we used tonight. Oh, over in lap 5, right here, you're going to be looking in the food libraries for freebies, extras, snacks, meal replacements. So I sort of send you on like a little quest to find some of these things that you like. So most time people like to cook simple meals, they like to do recipes, and they like to use a variety of meal replacements and other things. So you can use all of that. And I'm sorry I went a little late. Y'all asked awesome and amazing questions, and I like to address them all when I can, and I have your attention. So thank you for hanging out tonight, and I look forward to hopefully seeing you in the morning on the Shibby Show. And this currently is our last live webinar of the week. We are going to be adding some additional fast track classes in a couple of weeks. So be just watching out for that and come back to some of those. You're welcome, Samantha. But what I really want y'all to do is work through the fast track laps this week. It's designed to help you. You're welcome, Valerie. You're welcome, Faith. Thank y'all for hanging out with me. I appreciate it so very, very much. Bye, everybody.